My name is Sarah, and I'm back. I know it's been a while since I did a book review, but I was kind of busy with the spring semester and work, and I hate to admit this, but I was in a reading slump. I did not enjoy that. But with it now being summer and all, I found the book just to get me out of that slump. And that book is Again But Better by Christine Riccio, and also known as Poland Banana Books. I have been waiting for this book for so long, ever since Christine said that she was writing a book, and I have been following her on her YouTube channel every time she did the book writing vloggings. And then when she came out saying it's gonna come in the stores and everything, I was so excited, and I went and bought it when it came out. And this is the book that helped me get out of my slump, so thank you, Christine. And for those of you who remember me saying that I was planning to do a Finnish duology book goal, I promise I will finish that goal. I promise. Now, to get into non-spoilers, I give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. It was a good read. It kept me going, kept me entertained. I really enjoyed it, and it was basically a great debut for Christine. So this book follows Shane. She is a college student, and she goes to London for study abroad semester, and she's doing a creative writing program classes and all that stuff. Only problem, she is pre-med, so foreshadowing. And she has this great time of her life with her flatmates, who are Babe, Sarah, Atticus, and Pilot, the love interest. Now, I will admit there were some parts in this book where it was a little too wordy, too descriptive, that kind of drew me out of the scenes every now and again. And there were some parts where I was like, okay, can we fast forward just a bit? Let's pick up the pace. And there were times when Shane, I guess, would overanalyze things. But then again, this is her first experience doing things by herself. That's kind of expected. So I didn't mind that as much. Either way, I enjoyed this book. I can't wait for Christine to bless us with more books. And yeah, that's as far as I can get into the non-spoilers. And I got the Target edition, meaning I have a watermelon. So yeah, Again But Better by Christine Riccio, 4 out of 5 stars. Bye, non-spoilers. Spoilers. Now, I will admit, I did not pay close attention to this, but for those of you who have not read this book yet, I recommend you pay close attention to this part. So the book actually opens up with saying Part 1, 2011, so let's go back in time to back then when we were in high school. It opens up with Shane on an airplane going to London, and like I said, foreshadowing, because her parents think she's going to London for a pre-med program, because this girl, she went over the moon with this by making a fake brochure, giving it to her parents and making sure, they believed her. Are you telling me these parents didn't check the website to clarify on what the diary was saying? But, moving on from that. And this is where I begin the Easter hunt for this woman that sits next to Shane while she's writing in Horcrux 9 about her goals that she wants to do while she's in London. Airplane lady who's very snoopy, a very redhead, and everything starts getting in Shane's bubble and everything. And she wants to know, are you going to do all these things on your list? So I was hoping this would be the last sight of this woman, but no. I was like, who are you? And when Shane arrives to the school that she's going to be going to for the study abroad, she goes down to her flat. Apparently they have flats underground, I think. And she meets her roommates. We have Babe, who is practically all Disney, and she wants to work at Disney back in America. We have Sarah, who is this cool, chill, kind of girl, but also is like a good friend in a way, and she is pre-law. Then we have Atticus, who is there for the drama and everything, and he's like the best friend I want to have, because he's there for you when you need him. And then we have Pilot. Oh, Pilot. Yes, his name is Pilot, but Shay gives him the nickname as Pies. And basically, he's there just for a little bit of adventure as well. He shows up there with his guitar, so we know he likes to do music. He actually has a soundtrack on iTunes, so yay! And him and Shane become very close friends that we think that this is going to go somewhere else. I had a bunch of fun reading Shane's, over exaggeration and excitement when she shows up to London and basically, silly Americans. There are no signposts. There are signs on the buildings that I myself wouldn't have known that. And of course, there's the thing about cars coming the opposite way. Yes, the culture shock is real, especially when she goes to a grocery store with Pilot and she basically is Googling all over these items that are completely different than in America, especially about something with spaghetti. And of course, Shane is also, a blogger. So she blogs almost everything that, she does in London, all the experiences that she has, as well as when she takes her trips to other places in Europe. And of course, guess what her name is? French Watermelon 19. Now I understand why there's a watermelon on the cover. And it sounds eerily familiar to Poland Banana Books. I don't know how study abroad works because I've never done it, but I always assume that you're supposed to stay in the same city as the other students that are here with you. So I was completely taken off guard when these kids decide to go to Rome for the weekend, and they also do a trip to Paris further on. So I was like, wait, can they do that? But apparently I guess they can because no one stops them as long as they get back to London for class and their internships that they, do during the semester. So I'm like, okay. I was actually, rooting for this relationship to happen between Shane and Pilot because they have so many things that they like. They enjoy doing things together, especially when they're in Rome and everything. And it's like, okay, I can ship this. Until Atticus asks, so have you spoken to your girlfriend? And I'm with Shane. I'm like, what? You have a girlfriend? And his excuse is like, oh, we've been dating for 3 months. We put a pin in our relationship while I'm abroad. You have a girlfriend, Pilot? I'm pretty sure before you get chummy with a girl over the ocean, over the Atlantic, you should at least let your flatmates know that you have a girlfriend because Shane gets very confused in a way about her feelings for Pilot because she keeps reminding herself he has a girlfriend, but they have these great adventures together, and I'm like, this is about to go bad. Side note, Shane gets an internship at a place called Pact for Travel. It's a traveling magazine, and I'm like, yay! At least there's one happy thing happening. And of course, let's add in another pin to the silly Americans while they're in Rome at the time because Shane forgets her purse at the restaurant with all important valuables. I'm all for keeping important valuables with you and not at the hotel because, there's the possibility of someone getting into your hotel room and stealing something that prevents you from leaving the country. But please keep close guard on your valuables. Now, I mentioned that they do go to Paris after we all know that Pilot has a girlfriend, but it's because Babe wants to take Chad, this guy that she likes, to Paris for his birthday and everything, and it goes well. Shane and Pilot do share moments together, very deep moments where she even tells him about the predicament she is in, including with her family and everything. And then, Chad ruins the night on his birthday when he makes a move on Shane. And then she finds out from Babe that he, basically rejected her because he is interested in short girls and Babe is pretty tall. And he made a move on Shane just to get back at Babe. Raise your hand if you're in favor of tossing this douche into the catacombs, please. Raise your hands. We will never see him again. And this is where the book goes downhill because Amy comes for a visit at the same time where I'm like, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. Shane's parents decide to give her a surprise visit. And the dirty laundry comes out. So I was really freaking out. I would have been the person at that table with the menu over my face, shaking with that background anime style. I'm like, oh Lord. And because Pilot's the only one that actually knows what's going on, he tries to redirect the conversation until, it comes out. And then we have a scene. And it basically goes downhill from there. Including the fact that after all of this happened, Amy finds Horcrux 9, reads Shane's feelings about Pilot, and she basically does that warning girlfriend thing, mean like, stay away from my boyfriend. If you do anything, I'll tell him. That kind of thing. Raise your hand if you're in favor of throwing Amy in the tower. We can throw away the key and say nothing. And basically, after that confrontation with Shane's parents, it kind of goes downhill from that. Shane came for this big adventure to basically be someone different, try to become someone more confident, more adventurous, put herself out there. And then she reverts back to distancing herself, throwing herself into studies that for a degree plan for a future that her parents selected for her. And she really doesn't communicate anymore with her friends. Her and Pilot's relationship is basically gone. And she quits out of the blue at PACT. And basically everything she's worked for this adventure goes down the drain. And she has to return home for basically try to piece back her life. This is where I said pay attention to this moment because I did not, and I was completely caught off guard. And so I remember how I said part 1 says 2011 because we get like little reminders like say, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows is going to come out. She's reading Shadow Kiss. She's recommending City of Bones and everything. Then we jump to a business interview for Shane for her residency. I'm like, I go back a page. 2017! Oh my God, what does she mean by 6 years? Yes, it's been 6 years. You know me with the whole time skip thing. A week or 2 weeks is my limit. We do 6 years, and I'm like, this is not the brain blow up moment, but either way, I was caught completely off guard. So yes, please pay attention to the part 1, part 2 thing because I was like, what just happened? So Shane, who has a boyfriend, who is basically not their boyfriend material and who has parents that she really no longer talks with just via email, and it's really awkward. She's been looking out for Pilot in a way because he did say back then that he didn't have a return ticket back to America, but now he's back in America. It's been 6 years. She really hasn't talked to him and she still has these feelings inside her, so she tries to get them off her shoulders once and for all for closure. So of course she knows where Pilot works. They go for coffee. It's a very intense, conversation, and they get stuck in the elevator. And of course, I'm thinking, stuck in the elevator, we'll get some things off our chests, off our shoulders, and we'll have our closure. And apparently they started this game back in London about, the 3 places they go back in time just to, see, maybe add their little tidbits in there and everything, but not really, change the future. Well, they both agree, yeah, we would go back to January 2011, and, because that's like the best moment of our lives and everything. I was confused for a moment because we had this on the page. And I was like, wait, what? So I flipped back and forth a couple, maybe 10 to 20 times. I'm confused. What just happened? What? Okay. You know what? Creative. We'll carry on. Until I had another wait moment. Because the chapter said chapter 1. Then my eyes moved down from chapter 1 to the next paragraphs. I'm reading. I'm like, wait. Pilot's there. And they're back in London. In their same flat. Pilot thinks that Shane did this. Shane has no clue what's going on. Atticus is in their same dorm room. They see him. And then there's Sarah. They're back in London on January 2011. Nani? This book was supposed to be a coming of age rom-com. It got depressing with adulting realism-ish things. And I was like, okay, I can work with this. And I was like confused because there's like still half a book left. And then when did this become an anime? We went back in time. That's where my brain exploded. I could feel it explode. And please tell me I'm not the only one that imagined that song, what was it, Dongo Dai Kazaku, playing in the background for a split second. So while I'm collecting my brain and Shane and Pilot are trying to figure out why they're back, oh, Lucy, you have some explaining to do. So you remember how I mentioned that Snoopy redhead airplane passenger lady in the very beginning? Well, apparently she's been popping here and there, like looking for Waldo, because she was at Starbucks in London. Then she showed up at Paris. Then she showed up back in London again. And then she showed up at the place where 2017 Shane and Pilot had their moment at a coffee place. And for a second, I thought she was the one that sabotaged the elevator that got them stuck. And she's back again in 2011. Of course, Shane thinks she's like, the spirit guide. And she says, yes, y'all can go back to y'all's time periods, but this is what y'all wanted, right? If y'all want to go back to y'all's lives, go back to Rome for the weekend, and there'll be a reset button. Yes, there's a reset button. Shane is thinking magic. Pilot's going the scientific route of saying, wormhole. I'm going the anime route, saying something happened and now we're back in time because this feels anime style. So, of course, they try to repeat the events that already happened. Pilot's not really a game player. But either way, Shane, Babe, Sarah, and Pilot go back to Rome. And they do find the button in the most mysterious way. In Shane's ravioli, I will question this redhead woman's strategy for another time, but basically they decide to hold on, see how things go, because things have been going pretty good, and they're officially a couple because Pilot broke up with Amy, so they tried to give this thing a go. And we're back to the adulting realism thing, and I'm like, no, because they actually do have moments. Shane and Pilot, they are boyfriend and girlfriend. And then Amy shows up. Apparently Pilot broke up over a voicemail and Amy never got it. And then Shane has the realization that she's been acting like a love-struck teenager because she has been talking to Babe, her best friend, in like 6 days. She's been messing up at her job. Basically, the offer she was given has been taken off the table, and she hasn't really been, interacting with people at her work. She's been taking it seriously. All she's been doing is texting and focusing on Pilot. She knows that her parents are going to come. She doesn't know how she's going to handle that. And all this comes to her in a way that she's like thinking, this isn't going to work. She blows up at Pilot. She takes off. She tries to push the button, but she's still stuck in 2011, which is where Airplane Lady says that, you're not ready. So in a way, Shane is stuck in 2011 with Pilot. But in a way, she matures. And she basically buckles down at work and basically makes a good impression there, which basically helps her through the rest of this book because many doors open for her. And she does get, and one of these doors is that she actually gets one of her pieces published. They say basically you're the first intern that gets a piece published, meaning she has taken the first step is doing what she wants to do. And because of her friendship with all these co-workers here in London, they have connections. And they basically, in a way, help get Shane, at the very end of the book, an interview back in America that also helps her again with her future plans, meaning the life that she wanted is actually unfolding in a good way. And of course, we gotta do take 2 on that family dinner. And how it didn't go well, but it didn't go terribly like dinner take 1 because she comes forth with the reason why she's doing there. Her parents do blow up. Her father basically does disown her again, but Shane stood up for herself and she tries to keep in contact with them by telling them how things are going in London. And of course her dad, especially when she takes a picture of the magazine that has her published work, he's basically saying, how does this improve anything? Well, it later does. Either way, I'm like, whew, we can still get dessert after this dinner, because it goes way better than the first round. This is where I understand where the title Again But Better comes into play, because I thought it was like Shane going out by herself for the very first time and trying to become someone in a better way. Then we get part 2, where they literally get to redo their life in 2011 for Again But Better. I'm like, oh, I finally get it, because things are going better for Shane in a way. She does have her little moments where she thinks things aren't going to work out, but they basically resolve themselves, and she works towards it, and she becomes more confident, more bold in a way than she was when she was back in 2017, because she had basically regressed back to the person that she had been. But now it's Again But Better. Oh, I am so glad I picked up on that. I'm wondering, how do these girls have money? Because her, Babe, and Sarah, they try to go everywhere on each weekend until they're low on cash. I'm like, how much money do y'all have? Because let's see, where have they been? They've been to Berlin, Vienna, Florence, Pisa, Prague, Amsterdam, and okay, I don't think that they actually paid for this one, but Babe managed to get them passes to the Paris Disney World. I'm like, wow, how much money do y'all girls have in y'all's bank account to make these trips possible until the end of the semester? I'm like, wow. I would be looking at the bills and scared and sad, and I'm like, oh Lord. Now it's the last, I guess, weekend, and Shane's gonna go do what Babe, previous first version 2011, wanted to do, which was to go to Edinburgh by herself. You know how Babe would always say this could be a great adventure to do things by yourself. You'll get to experience something that you probably wouldn't experience in a group. So Shane goes to Scotland, Edinburgh by herself. She goes to visit a spot that apparently J.K. Rowling came up with, Harry Potter. So she was like fangirling and everything. And she meets an airplane lady again, saying, you know, you're ready, so you can push the button whenever you want. Shane does have a moment where she does contemplate pushing the button, because right now she hasn't gotten the call saying, you know, I got you an interview at 17 back in the US, and Pilot is there. And for a second, I'm like, Pilot, why are you here? But apparently he's been following Shane's blog, and he got some information out of Babe. And he said he understood why she was feeling all of that, so he decided to let her do her own thing. He didn't want to interrupt her success or anything. He just wanted her to do her thing. And then he came up with this great gesture of apologies by coming up with all these songs from in the future, and a giant song montage to sing to her. And basically he said, you know, he wants her to do her thing, but he wants to be there to support her and see her do her thing, and, you know, just live a life where they're both there together, supporting each other and what they want to do. So I'm like, yay, they resolved their problem, because Pilot does break up with Amy face to face that we didn't see off script. And I'm like, they're back together. My ship can sail. Then we get a jump forward back to 2017, where this kid is basically blogging an adventure and interviews the New York Times bestseller 2017 Shane with her boyfriend, the Pilot, there. And apparently, I guess they resolved her problems with her family, because her parents were there at the book signing. And the kid recognized Leo, because Leo, who I thought was a douche back in early first version 2011, he's actually a great cousin. He just, you know, had his own problems to deal with, but him and Shane are now really close. So I'm like, yay, Leo. I'm going yay a lot. And so I would, end this book review on the high note saying, you know, Pilot does propose to Shane, but I think the person who gets the last laugh out of this whole book It's Airplane Lady, because she's there again, miss. I'm not really a spirit guy, but here, I'm gonna send you back in time. And there's this button saying if you want to go back to the lives that you were living, just push it. And then like saying, oh, it's not gonna work until you're ready. And then you're ready, and they don't push it. And she's like, can I have it back now? This woman, who is she? Does she just go around snooping in other people's business and does a whole thing where she sends them back in time to redo their moments or anything? Who is she? Who is she? Because she's the one that gets the last laugh out of this book. But either way, Shane and Pilot do have their rom-com happily ever after moment. And that is the end of this book review. So yes, I enjoyed this book. Again, I will admit my brain exploded, especially when we got to the halfway marker. And it was 2017. I was depressed with all the realism adulting going on and everything. And then we get the anime thing where we go back in time. But then again, it's a play on words because it is, again, but better. Shane's life that she wasn't happy with. She gets a chance to redo her life. And it does come out, again, but better. And of course, there's the blurb on the cover saying, what would you do with a second chance? Yeah, I should have really paid attention to the words, so my brain wouldn't have gone kapooey. Either way, I enjoyed this book. Again, it was a great debut novel by Christine. I have been waiting for so long. I know that there was hype going around this book, and I will have to say the hype was there. It was for real. And it did not let down my expectations whatsoever. I enjoyed this book. Again, I admit there are a couple of things that kind of drew me out of the book. And of course, the fast forward moments, that's because it was when they were back in time and they were reliving their moments. And I was like, okay, we get this a little faster. Either way, it was a coming of age book, both in the first half and in the last half, where Shane was basically she's trying to learn herself in the first half, but in the second half, she does know who she is and she knows what she needs to do. And she basically grew up in a way. We saw her grow up from basically this person trying to figure herself out to this person knowing what she wants to do, which I really enjoyed. I love Flat 3. I love the guys so much. Babe, Sarah, and Atticus. I am so glad that they're still friends. And back in early 2017, I'm going to suspect that they are still great friends in this 2017. I am glad Pilot grew up in a way as well, especially after he was being so mean to Shane when they went back in time. And then he started acting like a love-struck teenager again. But then he grew up again, and I'm like, thank you, Pilot. And we need to do an investigation on this Airplane Lady. So as you can see, I enjoyed this book very much. Christine, I can't wait for your next upcoming books. And when can you confirm that CW release date for Again But Better? Because seriously, I can see this as a CW TV show. Maybe the 16th episode, if we're lucky, maybe the 24th episode for one season. But CW, I can't be more specific. So hurry up and make this into a TV show. And that's my review. Again But Better by Christine Riccio. 4 out of 5 stars. My name is Sarah, and bye!